Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Vanessa and I am an indie author and I publish under the pen name of A. Sage. I write fantasy, sci-fi, and pretty much anything paranormal. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the costs of indie publishing and what you can expect would cost you as far as budgeting goes when you're publishing your first book on your own. So stick around and we're going to start talking about some moolah. So, as I said in the intro, today we are talking about money, money, money. It is a kind of a tough subject to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about budgeting and money, but it is important if you are going to be indie publishing. When I first started out, I did not account for how much it might cost me, and so I didn't have the right funds allocated, and it did not do anything good for my books. Later down the line, I had to go through it again. I had to redo certain things. I had to rebrand the books, and it actually ended up costing me a lot more. Whereas if I thought about this ahead of time, I would have saved myself a lot of time, a lot of sweat and tears, and a lot of money. So we're going to talk about four main things that are going to suck your budget when you are publishing on your own. As an indie publisher, you do not have a big publishing house behind you, and so everything falls on you. You have to be able to pay for a lot of things that are required when publishing a book. One of those big things is editing. Now, there are different ways to go about editing. And it can cost you anywhere between $500 to upwards of $2,000, if not more. Editors charge either per word or per page, so it depends what kind of editor you get. If you're getting a developmental editor, you're looking at the high end of that budget. These are people that are professionally trained to tell you what you're doing wrong, if there's plot holes, if your character needs development, and basically deconstructing your book little by little to make it the best as possible. Whereas if you're getting a copy editor or proofreader, that's on the lower end of the spectrum because they're going through it and they're just checking your grammar, making sure punctuation is correct, making sure you don't have run-in sentences and things like that. So it really depends which way you want to go. If you want to kind of stretch the editing budget as much as you can, you could take a look at hiring just a copy editor or proofreader, and also getting beta editors. Now, beta editors are people who most often will work for free and they will read your book and they will help you make it better. They just want to help you get the best book out there. I have a combination of paid and free betas. And the reason I have this is because while I love my beta readers that are just like into the series and really want to just do it for free and they're having fun doing it, they're doing it as volunteers, right? So their timelines might not meet my timelines. I feel odd pressuring them to work faster. Whereas if I pay somebody to do it, I'm guaranteed that they will deliver at a certain date. I'm also guaranteed that they're not going to hold back. And as much as it like hurts you to get negative critiques, you need to get used to it as any kind of creative, right? Because you really need to be able to suck it up and take their advice and see if it's viable and then execute it. Because if they're saying this, if they're seeing this, and you have a few beta readers who are spotting the same thing, chances are your readers are going to feel this way too. And so you want to fix that problem. So that's one way to kind of cost the editing costs a little bit. Cut the editing costs a little, sorry. Another big expense that you're looking at is cover design. Now, you might be tempted to say, well, it's my first book. I'm just going to design a cover on Canva and just throw it out there. That's going to really hurt your book. It's going to hurt your sales quite a bit, but it's also going to hurt some of your reviews. You are an author and you're not trained to know what it is that people expect from a book cover. I'm lucky in that I am a book cover designer. However, if I wasn't, I would never try to take that on myself. Cover designers know your genre, and they know how to articulate it in a way that people don't feel like they're getting catfished into a book, right? And so when it comes to cover design, again, there's a spectrum. You can go as little as $100 or as high as $1,500 and up. It depends on what you want. If you want to lower your costs and you don't have much of a budget for a cover, you can look for a pre-made cover. There's a ton of books on groups on Facebook where cover designers sell pre-made covers, and you can find one that works for your book. Um, if you want a custom, you can also take a look at people's portfolios, see what their prices are. Sometimes they run sales. My current prices for custom designs are start at $200 for an ebook, and then they go up if you have like a full wrap. Again, that's another cost you should think about. But if you have a series, I give discounts. A lot of designers do. However, I have a lot of authors who buy my pre-mates because they just fit the book they're writing more or less. And then I make very tiny changes for them, like the color of magic or hair color or things like that. And then by cutting their costs by buying a pre-made, they got a really great cover that would have been a custom, except it wasn't. And so the costs are less, right? So take a look at different groups out there. Look at different designers, see if anybody can recommend some designers for you, because these are really good things to think about when you're looking at cover design. And since we're talking about the physical version of your book, another cost that would probably come up for you is the formatting. You can't just draft a manuscript in Word and throw it up there. The book has to be formatted a certain way. And if you don't know how to do that, you're going to have to hire somebody to do it. Formatting usually ranges between $200 and $1,000. That's more or less what I've seen out there. There's obviously outliers and everything. And these are people who will literally go through your manuscript and they'll format it to your ebook or your paperback, depending on the size that you want. They'll take care of chapter headings, images, any maps you might have in there, back end material, things like that. And they will give you a final file that you can upload and get your book printed on demand or get the ebook up. If you want to cut costs, which I know we all do, look into vellum. I personally use vellum. I've used it for all my books, and it was an amazing investment. I believe I paid like $150 or something like that originally for vellum, which is cheaper than formatting one book, hiring somebody to do it. And I've done all my books with it. So it already paid back numerously. And it's Mac, I believe it's an iOS only. There's a way to go around it. If you work off a PC, I think you can work online on it. But essentially what you do is you import your manuscript from Word and you can format it right there. It takes me 10 minutes to format my books with vellum, which is fantastic. By no means is this sponsored by them. I'm not. I just really love the program. Also, if you don't want to worry about vellum, you want just completely hands off on formatting, whoever designed your cover, the chances are they'll be able to format this book for you. So you need to ask them or take a look at their website, because a lot of them have that as an add-on. So if you're already paying for a custom cover, you could just add on the formatting and it'll cost a lot less than going to two separate designers. And then the last cost that you're looking at is your marketing cost. This is a big one. It can really suck your budget. However, you don't have to start big, right? So we talked about in the previous video that I did, and I'll link that video here so you can watch it. But your marketing can really go as low as like $30 or $40 just to start out, and then you scale up from there. You could have book launches where you spend thousands. You could have book launches where you spend hundreds. It really just depends. You can take a look at promo sites, so things like Bargain Booksy, Book Barbarian, things like that, and see what kind of marketing they have before you jump into click advertising. I would definitely recommend on holding off on click advertising, so that's Amazon and Facebook ads, until you have more than one book out, just because you're going to get a lot more on your return on investment that way. And you can just use these small sites that they have and the promotions that they offer, their newsletters and things like that, and kind of spread them out throughout the week of your launch and spend your money that way. So yeah, your marketing costs should really be built into your budget when you're starting out. It's a huge part of it, because there's like thousands of books coming out all the time, millions every year, really. And so you want to stand out, and the realistic way to do that right now when you're first starting out is to give it a push forward through marketing and through advertisement. So yeah, those are the four main big umbrellas of where your budget is going to come from and where you're going to be spending your money when you're first starting as indie publishing. Indie publishing, it sounds very romantic, right? Because you can do what you want. You decide when the books come out, how often they come out, what they look like, what's in them, but the gritty part of it is that it costs money to publish. It's a product that you are giving to people, and products cost money. That's just the end all result of it, right? And so you really need to be prepared that that first book, before your books start making money, a first, second, third book, that's going to be funded strictly by you. And the easiest way, and trust me from experience, because I've made this mistake, is to slowly start building up for it. So start putting away a budget, your book budget, call it, and allocate every single section to your editing, your cover design, your formatting, and your marketing. And every week or every month or whatever, put some money into that so that when you're finally ready to launch your book, you have something to play with. And there's other costs that are going to come up. There's small things that will come up. You're going to have maybe graphics that you might need for all your marketing campaigns. These are things you can talk to the designer who did your book for you. And again, there could be an extra cost. It might not be monumental, but it will be there. So there's small things that will come up, but those things you can take your time with. You don't need to spend money on that right away. But for these four things, editing, your cover design, your formatting, and your marketing, these are absolutely necessary. It might sound like, oh, it's okay, I don't need that, I can do it myself. And you probably could, but will it be as good, right? And will it backfire? Let's say you had poor editing or the wrong cover and you get bad reviews. That can really hurt your book, right? And it can hurt the rest of your career. So if you're just starting out, really invest in yourself and invest in your books. I think that's like the biggest advice that I can give to anybody who is going the indie publishing route is look at it as a business, and businesses require funding. And so you need to have that funding prepared. So, I mean, oh, really, there's just so much more. I mean, if you would like, we can do an entire series where we break down all of these four big umbrellas into really small, detailed kind of videos where each one would be a lot more detailed, where we can talk about different options and alternatives. So if you're interested in something like that, then make sure to comment below and let me know, because I'd love to do a video like that. I'd love to help you out with anything I've come across or any research that I've had. I've had years of doing this, and so I can tell you some of the ways to cut the costs, and I can instruct on where you really should not cut the costs, right? So yeah, definitely let me know and I'll get to that next. I'll put it on the schedule, or just drop a links to your books so I can add them to my TBR, because I'd love to support you if you already have a book out there. If you're just starting out, let me know, ask me any questions. I'm so happy to help, and I'm just so grateful when I meet other authors who are as excited about this amazing career that we've chosen as I am. So yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, I do have a video coming out every single week. This was a short one. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. This was a short one, and funny story, it's a short one because this is my third time filming it. We had the worst lighting situation thing happening, and even though I tried to blank off the rays, it completely just was not, it looked terrible. I could not put that out there for you guys. And then the next time I recorded the video, didn't save to my card. So yay, technology. So yeah, this is a shorter one just because I've done it so many times. I could get the point across much faster. But normally they're a bit longer, and I have them coming out every week. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss a video when it comes out. And if you are just starting out in this writing journey, then I wish you the absolute best of luck. And I hope that you are enjoying this cold weather we're having, and that you are having a great week so far. Stay magical, and I will see you next week. Bye.